Kakadosh Boker Or, Bekiim Halacha 3, day 84, Siman 18, Yud Chet, page 183, Halacha Yud Daled. When are you allowed to start making the bracha of tzitzit in the morning? So Mishiakid ben Tchelet Sheba Levan Sheba. So the Shulchan Aruch paskins, when you're going to distinguish, differentiate between the white and the blue, the turquoise, right, threads. Uzman zeh hu kisha zmanit kol netzach hama. So this is going to be, right, 1 hour, right, before the netzach hama, okay, which is going to be 12 minutes after Alot HaShachar. And that is the minhag of Yerushalayim. So you do... Which one?
I learned sometimes blue and green, that could be for something else, recognizing your friend. I don't know.
I don't know. Here, it's a Mishnah in Brachot. The Mishnah in Brachot says, fine. Now he comes and he says, and that is a Minhag of Yerushalayim. So Minhag of Yerushalayim is exactly that. So basically it's an hour before the net. So mamash, you could be Beshat Dachak, so you could actually be Mekel, 6 minutes, right, after Amud HaShachar. So let's see the first, the footnotes. Okay, you have 243. Which one? We're going to see right now. The moment of dawn is 72 minutes before sunrise. So when is Alot HaShachar? 72 dakot, 72 minutes. Lifnei HaNetzach Hama. Okay, 72 minutes. The time defined as when someone can distinguish between tchelet and white is about 1 sha'a zmanit lifnei netz. So that means 12 minutes zmaniyot acharei Alot HaShachar. Od pam. Alot HaShachar זה 72 דקות לפני נץ. You got נץ, נץ זה sunrise. שמש עולה. 72 דקות לפני, זה לא השחר. אם אני אומר זה שעה לפני הנץ, זה 12 דקות זמניות, אחרי עלות השחר. So he says, the Rambam rule, one is allowed to recite the blessing on the tzitzit in the morning once there's enough daylight to distinguish between tchelet strands and the white strands. Okay, the Maran commented right in the Bet Yosef. What's 72 minutes? Or a lot of shachar. Yes.
That's over.
Yes. 100%. It's always 72 minutes. Always 72 minutes. Maran commented in the Bet Yosef that this is not found anywhere in the Talmud, but apparently the Rambam equated this to the time given in the Brachot, that the earliest time to one perform the mitzvah of Shema is the time when there's enough daylight to distinguish between tchelet and the white strands, is the same time when there's enough daylight to distinguish a casual acquaintance at a distance of 4 cubic amot, which means this. If you actually pay attention in the Mishnayot, there's 2 shitot. You could look at your friend, you could recognize your friend within Daled Amot, and the tchelet levan. If you really pay attention, the halacha is really be'emet, recognizing your friend. But he says that Rambam Beholder was the same shita. So therefore it's the same thing, meaning recognizing your friend within Daled Amot and recognizing the white strand and the blue, right? Okay? So one more time. So we just said that you have the 12 minutes, and that's the minhag of Yerushalayim, 12 minutes zmaniyot after Alot HaShachar. Okay? Now he wanted to say that right, Shat Dachat, you could even do 6 minutes afterwards. So Maran cited the opinion as well as a Mordechai, that since the Torah did not specifically say the time of tzitzit is during the day, what time, but instead just said when you could be seen, one may already say it already from the moment of dawn, right? The Mordechai testified that this is a common custom, right? Meaning like this, it doesn't say that you have to put it on the tzitzit by yom. It says uritemoto. You have to see it. So therefore, technically speaking, I could still see it, just like we had the safek during Ben Hashmashot. So you have the other way around, the Ben Hashmashot in the morning, which means before the sunrise. Okay?
According to the time or to your vision?
No, 1 minute. So in the Shulchan Aruch, Maran ruled, according to the Rambam's opinion, that the earliest time is when one can distinguish, right, between tchelet and the white strands. And the Rama added the common custom is basically doing it, right, from the moment of dawn. Okay, the ones that he says. So the Gaon Vimna, he agreed with the Shulchan Aruch, not with the Rama. So now in practice, what do we do then? So he says like this. He says, since Sephardic Jews have tradition to always follow the Shulchan Aruch, they may not say the berachot over the talit until the time that you could distinguish between tchelet and white. This is the rule even when they are in a great hurry. So even for the Ashkenazic Jews, it is still best to wait unless there's a great hurry and cannot wait until later. And this is what the Mishabura explained in the name of the Pri Megadim. The Kafachim Zohar commented that in the winter, when the sun rises very late in the morning, we should not protest against Sephardic Jews who recite the blessing immediately after dawn. The Lachabura disagreed. He says, no, they're not allowed to follow that. Meaning, the Rama for Ashkenazim said, immediately after dawn. יש לך עלות השחר? תברך. אין דבר כזה בשביל ספרדים. Sfaradim have to go like Shulchan Aruch. So Shulchan Aruch, you cannot do that. So he says, okay, so then when are you allowed to do it then? So he says, when is the time that one can distinguish? So the Talmud does not define when is the time one can distinguish, right? And neither did the Rishonim. The Pri Megadim defined it approximately a tenth of an hour, which is 6 minutes after dawn. And that's likely the opinion of Eretz HaChaim, that Rishon LeTzion, in response to Chavadat, cited the opinion that this opinion is halacha. The Kav HaChaim Sover, however, testified the common custom of Yerushalayim is 1 hour before, so it's 6 minutes after that. Rav Yechiel Michal Tkachinsky likewise testified the common custom is to follow the Sephardic scholars and wait until 1 regular hour before sunrise, both in the summer and in the winter. Rav Shmuel Homner asserted that the people of Yerushalayim followed one of the three opinions: 52 minutes, 50 minutes, and 40 minutes. So now there's another 3 shitot that we just brought down, right? Other people of Minhag Yerushalayim, right? The Yigrot Moshe ruled that it's between 35 minutes and 40 minutes. While the Eretz Yaakov, the Emet Yaakov, Rav Yaakov Kamenetsky, he said that it's no later than 36 minutes. The response of Minchat Yitzchak stated that it's between 50 minutes and 30 minutes before sunrise. Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach said it is shortly after 50 minutes before sunrise. Rav Yosef Shalom Eliashiv recommended that people refrain from reciting the beracha until it's less than half an hour before sunrise. So basically, let me just put up, or you know, it's fine. Basically like this: if you actually open up the app, take the app of My Zmanim.
Talking about talis when you can put on
Yes,
gadol,
Talit,
only the
Tfilin, Talit, Tfilin, and Kriyat Shema. So if you're going to take the My Zmanim, you're going to have something which is called
talit and tefillin have different
earliest Talit. So I'm going to give you the example. Nets tomorrow morning. Well, let's talk for tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, 7:08 is Nets. Okay, 7:08 is Netzach Hamas, sunrise. When is dawn? 5:54. Now this 5:54, right, is 72 minutes, right, which is 5:54, but 72 minutes during the equinox. Okay. Now what happens is as follows, right? When we're talking about now the earliest talit, it says over here like this. If you actually pay attention, look, open it up. You have earliest talit, 12 degrees, 6:14, 60 minutes during the summer. 6:16. 11 degrees is 6:18. 52 minutes is 6:22, right? 40 minutes, no. So what happens is like this. In the My Zmanim, he only gives you one Zman. So, right? Which one? No, he's going 52 minutes. The My Zmanim is 52 minutes. 40 minutes, and then you have 35 minutes. Well, yeah, he's going one of the Ashkenazi opinions. Again, it's not only just Ashkenazi opinions. You've got a lot of them. So you have 52 minutes, you have 40, and you have 35. He doesn't bring down the 35 and the 40, right? Meaning, when you click on it, you have all the shitot, the pirut, all the shitot. He puts a check mark on the one that he did. So he does the check mark on 52 minutes. But really, be'emet, so if this one is 6:22, let's look at the other one. There's one of Rabbi Ovadia Yosef. Here's the next day, Monday. Monday, it says here, Talit Utfilin 6:08. So he's doing the 6 minutes afterwards. You understood? Meaning the one of the Rabbi Ovadia, he's doing 6 minutes afterwards. The one of my Zmanim is doing afterwards. So again, you've got the 2 different shitot, right? Of what exactly you're allowed to do. Again, you've got many different shitot. What I don't understand is that why don't we always just say Safek berachol lakel, which means why are you going to make the bracha now? Just wait. So I'm not sure exactly why he doesn't say that. He does bring down again, obviously with Shat Dachak, and that's why he's saying here. He's saying it's Shat Dachak, meaning, for example, let's say it's not Shat Dachak. So why are you going to do to 6 minutes? He himself said, do the 12 minutes. You understand? Why are you going to do the 6 minutes? He says, when you're coming to nets, you're not in my level the top. Because anyway, you're doing the nets. So if you're doing, meaning here we're talking about a poalim minyan. Poalim minyan means that they pray before the nets. So if they're praying before the nets, and now they want to be lenient, so you're right. If I need to know what is the most lenient that I could be, so fine. So you give them 6 minutes, or you give them 12 minutes, or whatever it is. But if you're praying nets, there's no shata dachak. There's no nothing. So minimum you should do is an hour. That's minimum. And technically speaking, why are you going to do it in an hour, even if you have 52 minutes, and that's according to a lot of shitot, or you have the 50 minutes? I'm saying, anyway, what's you understand? Like you
almost
no, so what we try to do is, we do right before Baruch Shamar. Why? Because right before Baruch Shamar, you're already for sure, right? You already did the 6 minutes, you did the 12 minutes, you did the, which is basically the hour, you did even 52 minutes. No, because a Yom Ragil, you're already way past that. On a Yom Ragil, it's written 6:22. It's only B'Shabbat. It's only B'Shabbat, right? Meaning the Yom Ragil, you Bichlal, Shachrit only starts at 6:30. On a regular weekday, you're already way after all these times, right? Because If right now 7:08 is Amidah, we call Shachrit at 6:30. So even if you're putting on the tefillin on the Talit and tefillin at 6:30, you're after 6:22. On Shabbat, it's different because on Shabbat you start at 6:05, which is an hour before the Nets. So if you're going to start putting on the Talit and tefillin 6:05, you're even before his time, the time of the 6 minutes, because 6:03 was a mutasha. So you're even before that time. So you can't do it 6:05. So anyway, you would have to do it afterwards. But again, that's Shata Dachak. Why are you doing Shata Dachak? So wait later on. So you do it by Baruch Shamar. By Baruch Shamar, you're for sure within already the 40 minutes or whatever it is. So then there's no problem. You already did according to everybody. There's no problem whatsoever. Halachat Tetvav. Yeah, Halachat Tetvav comes and he says, Im ta'au birecha talit balayla. Eno chozer v'varech bayom. Sometimes it happens. People come and they put on the talit right away. Now it's way too early, right? So therefore, they're not going to make a bracha again. Why? Shem halacha kedat harosh sheksut yom chayav balayla v'safeh bracha lakol. Again, according to Shitat HaRosh, you remember there was Machloket Rosh v'Rambam. According to Shitat Rambam, everything had to do with, right, the ksut. And according to the Rosh, had to do with the time. So that means according to the Rosh, the fact that ksut yom, the fact that you're putting it on the laila, it's on the ksut. So therefore, the ksut, you're chayav. So if you're chayav on the ksut, you're chayav on the clothing. So that means it's a talit gadol you wear during the daytime. So even if you're wearing it at nighttime, you're still going to make a bracha. So according to the Rosh, you're Yitzhak Chuvah. Right? You made a bracha. That's fine. You're allowed to make a bracha. According to the Rambam, you don't. But it's Zman. It's going on the Zman. Right now, it's Laila. Zman Laila. Lo. זה כסות יום. מה? לא. אנחנו הולכים לפי שתיהם לחומרה. Right? So therefore, if according to the Rosh, you were already Yotzei Chovah the bracha, so Safek Berachol Lakel, don't make a new bracha. Safek Berachol Lakel, don't make a new bracha. Even though technically you weren't Yotzei Chovah, according to the Rambam, and Shulchan Aruch also passes like the Rambam. But because that's Safek Berachol Lakel, you don't do it. So 244. As explained in the preface to the Siman, we follow the stringencies of both the Rambam's opinion and the Rosh's opinion regarding the nighttime and the mitzvah tzitzit. So based on this, the Mishabra and the Kavachim Sofer rule that if someone made a bracha while it's still nighttime, he doesn't make a new bracha, right? Because since according to the Rosh, it was still okay. Nevertheless, if someone wishes, he could take it off, wait at least half an hour, and then puts it on again. And then he could make a new bracha without a question. It is permissible to create a situation necessitating an extra bracha if one wishes to fulfill the mitzvah according to all opinions. This, yes, to make the ifsek, right? Which means like this. Here it's coming out. Remember, this is brought down many, many, many times. This is a very important halacha. A lot of people don't think. A lot of people say, I want to make a bracha. You know how you make a bracha? I'm allowed to cause a bracha if I want to be Yitzhak Chuvah kol hashitot. If I want to be, how are you going to be Yitzhak Chuvah kol hashitot? According to the Rambam, I was not Yitzhak Chuvah. So how am I going to be Yitzhak Chuvah? He says, no problem. Make a hefsek. Chetzi shah. I'm going to take off the talit. I'm not going to wear it. So let's say, for example, I came. No, why? I came at 6 o'clock. Right? 6 o'clock. I made a bracha and I put on my talit. Now remember, 6:03 was alot shachar. And 6 minutes after that, that was like Peshat Dachak, was already going to be 6:09. I made a bracha at 6 o'clock. So I was not Yitzhak Chuvah. There's nothing what to talk about. It was even before Alot HaShachar. So for what happens? So now what happens is, I say, I didn't realize. I'm sorry, Rabbi. I thought, okay, you wrote down that Shachrit starts 6:05. I came at 6 o'clock. What's the big deal? No, but you were in Yitzhak Chuvah the bracha. So what happens? He takes off the talit. And at 6:30, right? There's no problem. He's even before Baruch Shaman at 6:30, right? At 6:30, he makes the bracha. And he makes it even according to Shtat Rambam. There's no problem whatsoever. Yeah? So 1 second. So now he comes and he says like this. He says, right? We just finished number 15. Now we're on halacha number 16. Okay? Number 16, it says like this. Im she'utzrach lidbosh hatalit kodem zmana lo yivarech alea v'kamur u'kshiyagia zmana yimashvesh v'tzitio v'yivarech. Which means, right? Now, this is right Mordechai's question, which means if you always just go ahead, you're able to see what's going on, right? If it becomes necessary to put on one's talit before the proper time, so what do? Put it on without a bracha. Now, once it comes the proper time, move the tzitziot around, and now you make the bracha. Let's see 245. Okay, 245. The Rabbi Turim, he comes and he says, number 245 למטה. מה? לא צריך להוריד את זה, רק מזיזים את זה, ממשמשים את זה. Right? מזיזים את זה, ואז אתה יכול לברך. The Rabbi Turim comes and he says, when someone wakes up, he may immediately put on a garment with tzitzit. After performing the Netilat Yadayim, he should handle the tzitzit and would say the bracha. And the Bet Yosef Maran stated that the source of the halacha is Tosafot. The Gemara states that if someone needs to set up a trip while it's still nighttime, he may put on his tefillin and begin his trip wearing his tefillin if he fears that otherwise it's going to get lost. When daylight arrives, he handles the tefillin. He moves them around. He moves them in the proper. Now they're in the proper place again. Now he can make his beracha. Rashi explained that handling the tefillin while wearing them takes place of putting them on. Mishabra added that the same applies to one's talit. The Bet Yosef, however, challenged the ruling. It seems to contradict the rule. One must always make a beracha before performing the mitzvah. He then resolved the challenge based on the teaching of Rabbi Yonah, that as long as the person is still wearing the tefillin, his blessing is still valid, as long as he's still wearing it. So therefore, it's still always over l'siyatan. The Taz offered an alternative resolution. Since at the time that he put on the tefillin, it's not yet the time of the mitzvah, the rule of saying the beracha beforehand does not apply. Because so therefore, you're still doing it before Zmana. You're still doing it in the proper time. So there's no problem. For the halacha in practice, Maran ruled according to the Tur, and the Shulchan Aruch explained the one may put on a talit while his hands are still uncertain, right, unclean, and then afterwards he may handle the tzitzit and recite the bracha. Based on this, so Rama added that if someone puts on the talit before dawn, right, let's say to read slichot, he should then handle the talit when it becomes daytime and make the bracha. The Oletzion ruled that if someone puts on the talit katan in the bathhouse where it's not possible to say bracha, then he may say the bracha when he exits the bathhouse while handling the tzitzit. Again, move around the tzitziot, you come, you make a bracha, and then there's not going to be a problem. Now, is it really necessary to do that or not? So the Yigrom Moshe explained that the reason for handling the tzitzit is simply to demonstrate that one is fulfilling the mitzvah over which he made the bracha. It is likely asserted that it's permissible just to recite the bracha even without doing anything. There is possibly, however, right, he says that our sage is permitted to recite the blessing only if he does handle the tzitzit. So obviously, you try to move around the tzitzit, move around the talit, move around the tefillin, whichever it is that you're doing, in order to make sure that you don't have any problem whatsoever.